Ready, get set, go!
Sir Isaac Newton was an English physicist and mathematician who is widely recognized as one of the most influential scientists of all time.
Excellent.
His work later influenced the Industrial Revolution later to come. He was born on the 25th of December 1634. He was born with a mother without a father. He died 3 months before he was born. In June 1661, he was admitted to Trinity College, Cambridge. He started off as a subsidizer, which guaranteed him 4-year tuition fee. He was knighted by Queen Anne on 17th of April. Now I leave Muhammad al-Athami.
Good morning. Sir Isaac Newton excelled in various fields in his life, such as mathematics, physics, natural astronomy, and philosophy. And now I leave you with Al-Fayed, who will talk about Sir Isaac Newton's life.
Excellent.
In 1664, Newton was elected scholar, and Newton was elected a scholar, guaranteeing 4 years of financial support. Unfortunately, at that time, the plague was spreading across Europe and reached Cambridge in the summer of 1665. The university closed, and he spent 2 years focusing and concentrating on problems in mathematics and physics, both integral and differential calculus and infinite series. He was the first to realize that the white light is made from the colors of the rainbow, and he understood the theory of gravitation. And now I leave you with Later Harris.
Okay, now I'm going to talk about Newton's first law. If an object stays in rest, if an object stays at rest, if an object at rest stays in rest, if an object in motion stays in motion, with the same speed and the same direction, unless an unbalanced force acted upon it. For example, if a car in motion stays in motion. If an unbalanced force acted upon it, it will change its speed and its direction. Now I'll leave you with Sultan Sharif talk about the Newton's second law.
Newton's second law states that the acceleration of the object is equal to the net force divided by the mass of the object. For example, if the net force is 4 and the mass is 2, then the acceleration will be 2 meters per second square. Now I'll leave you with Talal al-Hawshan talking about Newton's third law.
Newton's third law. For every action there is an equal but opposite reaction. This means that for every action force there is a reaction force that is equal in size but opposite in direction. For example, if you have a baseball and a bat, if the action force is the bat hitting the baseball, the reaction force is the ball hitting the bat. Now we're going to show you a video about Newton's life.
From the internet, right? It's connected with us? Yes, yes.
Revolutionary English physicist, mathematician, and philosopher Sir Isaac Newton is perhaps the most famous scientist in history. Born to a farmer in 1642, Newton worked his way through school waiting tables and cleaning wealthier students' rooms. He went to university at Cambridge, where he would eventually earn a professorship. During the Great Plague in 1665, Cambridge shut down and Newton returned home. It was during this hiatus that he first conceived the method of infinitesimal calculus, began to theorize the laws of planetary motion, and started his work with light and color. Though his discoveries would change the world of science, he didn't care about the glory and fame that came with them.
He wasn't too concerned with publishing, making it available to other people, getting glory for his own sake. It was an intellectual challenge that he wanted to deal with.
Every discovery that Newton made had two aspects. First, Newton made the discovery, and second, other people had to discover that he had made the discovery.
In 1671, Newton demonstrated his revolutionary reflecting telescope for the Royal Society, and soon after published his notes on color, describing his research on optics. After a visit from Royal Society member Edmund Halley, encouraging Newton to prove Robert Hooke's hypothesis on planetary motion, Newton wrote his Principia, which introduced his 3 laws of motion and first described the idea of gravity.
Newton's Principia is generally reckoned to be the single most important scientific book ever written, because for the first time it set forth a working, quantitative, exact, mathematical system based upon experiment and critical observation.
His work made him very popular and led Newton to being elected to Parliament. After several years in London, Newton suffered a nervous breakdown. Though he came out of it, his interest in physical science was replaced with philosophy and alchemy, particularly how they both related to a higher power.
Alchemy was concerned with manipulating what were seen to be 4 elemental properties in nature, the 4 elements, earth, air, fire, and water, and realizing that these things made all substances, that you could therefore not only make any other substance, such as gold, but you could also somehow learn the secrets by which God had put the world together.
Newton's later years were spent less in science and more as a public figure. Upon Robert Hooke's death in 1703, Newton became president of the Royal Society, though he didn't get along with many of its members, and made many enemies. Newton spent his final years a wealthy and famous man, whose discoveries made enormous impact on society.
In the century that came after, in the 1800s, we find that the fascination with science, with order, and with reasoned knowledge really set the whole tone of that culture. The one single figure from whom they drew most deeply was, in fact, Isaac Newton.
Okay.
One here, please. When somebody is born without, when somebody's father or mother die as he is an infant or a child, we call him an orphan. Instead of explaining that his father and mother died, okay, he was an orphan or he was orphaned, okay. Queen Anne, من دون ما ندلعها, Annie, okay. A-double-N-E is Anne in English, fine. So Queen Anne. Maintain eye contact. When you are talking, maintain eye contact. This is very important, okay? Slow down. It's always the same remarks. Don't memorize. Newton's second law. Who gave Newton's second law? You. And you were smiling. I put 2 tick marks here. You were marvelous, okay? So all of you smile. Third law, excellent, but I was scared. You were too serious, okay? You were too serious, mashallah. It's obvious that you've exerted a lot of effort. I salute your effort. Thank you very much. Take these into consideration, please.